You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Oh, it really does have a good pickup to it.
How's it going, everyone? Today we've got a
Tesla Model Y Performance, and it has been given to us by
Tesla themselves. So let's get into it. What are the specs of this Tesla?
So being a performance, you have the dual motor, one in the front, one in the rear, and it propels the car to 0 to 60 in about 3.5 seconds, which is really, really quick for what it is, and it's just under 2 tons, so it's a heavy enough car, but 4-wheel drive and 2 motors packs a good punch.
Gosh, he's very good uphill.
It does have a really good pull up a hill.
So what makes this Tesla unique?
Well, this is actually in the cherry red, which is not a very common color. It's a rather expensive optional extra, as well as having the white interior, which is actually rather nice, but I would not recommend it for someone who works in, you know, dirtier jobs like engineering or mechanic work. But it's really, really nice, and surprisingly, it's been quite easy to keep clean.
So what is this car like to drive?
It's quite a nice car to drive. It's rather easy. One thing is, it's a little weird not being able to see your front bonnet from where you sit. It's kind of like the car just like ends.
Yeah.
But I mean, the car's got so many sensors, and you've got the 3-dimensional display of the car and everything around you. It's very, very easy to drive from that perspective. One thing is the alloys. I really like them, but they protrude a lot from the tires. They're not flush. They protrude a little bit out, and I'm really, really concerned about actually curbing them. I think that's going to be something that, if you were to buy one of these, I know it's something that in my car, I've got to be very, very cautious of it.
So I like the driving position of this car in particular. You're sitting nice and high. You can't actually see anything out of the windshield.
Yeah.
So that's very nice.
It pretty much feels like you're driving a car that has no bonnet or no front end, just because you can't see it. But I mean, the car is really, really good at letting you know where everything is. You've got sensors and you've got the display as well. So you're never too concerned with how close you are. It'll show you very clearly.
So what would be the major difference between this and the Model 3?
So they're very, very similar cars. The Model 3 is obviously a sedan. This is more of an SUV or lifted hatch, if you want to call it whatever. But you do get a lot more space in this one here. The Model 3 is lower. You get a little more of a sporty appeal to it. It's more like a sports car in a sense.
Yeah.
But this one here really does perform really, really well. So it depends if you're looking for more storage. What you want to do is the Model Y is going to be the one for you. If you have tall passengers, like let's say you have a family, if you have tall kids, anything over 6 foot, you probably want to be having a Model Y. If you're in a Model 3, your rear passengers will struggle with a bit of headroom, and this also helps with your legroom in the rear as well. I have one of the Teslas with the piano black interior, and we have been in the brand new Highland, which has the completely new redesigned interior, and this Model Y has the kind of between the two interiors. This is between my generation and the latest one kind of interior design, which I think is very, very nice. I do prefer it over mine because it does have built-in wireless chargers that just seamlessly just seems better, and it is nice. But I do really like the Highland. The Highland, just the strip lights,
Yeah.
it just looks really nice.
How does this car perform?
It performs very well. Like I was saying, this is the dual motor version, so you're looking around 450 odd horsepower and around 3.5 seconds to 60. Now this will not do super high top speeds. Tesla keep changing top speed on their performance cars. I know the first generation of the Model 3 Performance could do 162 miles an hour top speed, but that changes with every single one they have. But it performs really, really well, and if you were looking for like a family SUV, there is not really much that could actually compete with this on like a probably your price you can purchase them for, as well as the features and performance. It's very, very hard to beat. This also being a performance, we also have the benefit of a good load of power. So if you do ever need to do an overtake, you've got the power. It's 4-wheel drive, so it's good for rainy, snowy days.
So you were talking about features. What specific features does this car have?
So this car has just the standard bare bones autopilot, and basically what that means is it will do your lane assist, so it'll keep you in your lane and it'll obviously navigate in your lane itself. It will not allow you to change lane without disengaging the autopilot, but it'll also do adaptive cruise control, which is fantastic for driving in traffic. And some of you just on the motorway and you're just sitting in one lane, you don't need to change. It is perfect for that. It'll do complete standstill traffic. So if you're doing 70, there's an accident, it'll slow you down, stop, provided the car ahead of you is doing that as well, and then it'll accelerate away.
So this car has been lent to us by Tesla to do a review on it.
And they have not asked us to say anything specific or not. This is a purely honest review, and honestly, I quite like the car, and I appreciate the fact that they've given it to us. So thank you very much. We really appreciate you giving us the car.
Absolutely.
And it's been a blast. If you're interested in possibly buying a Model Y, Model 3, Model X, Model S, whatever it may be from Tesla, there is a referral code right here. Now, this is only for a limited time only, and there is only so many that can use it, but it will benefit us, and it also benefit you with some money off. So why not give it a go?
Would you purchase one of these?
I do like them. I personally do prefer the Model 3. For myself personally, I like the Model 3. It's a little more sporty. It's a little quicker as well. And it's a little more sport-like. It's like more of a sports kind of car.
Yeah.
I know it's not, but it feels a lot more like that. This, you do sit really nice and high up, which is lovely. And you have a lot more space. Specifically, my brother's 6'4". So, if we were going to go on a road trip, this would be more ideal. But for me personally, I prefer the Model 3. I prefer the sedan over the SUV style. But I think it's a fantastic car either way. I wouldn't complain if I was given it or if this was the only one I had. Now, what do you think, Connor? You've driven in both the Model 3 and the Model Y. What do you think? Which one is your favorite? And would you consider maybe looking at one of these as a future car for yourself?
Well, in Teslas in general, I do like this one specifically because it's, like you say, lifted view. It's great. Color choice, I do quite like this color. Not the biggest fan of the white interior, but obviously you can spec that differently. But comparing this to your Model 3, this would be a more practical car. I'm a big fan of practicality with cars, absolutely. Like I love RS6s and BMW Tourings, love all of them. They're brilliant and practical, and this is definitely like it. Like you say, all the big storage. So this over the Model 3, I'd probably pick this one.
What do you think of the Tesla? You've obviously driven in my Model 3, and we've driven in the Highland, the newest generation of Model 3. What do you think of having driven in a Model Y for the first time?
Well, like I said, the driving position is great. It's very similar. It's to yours in particular. I would describe it as a lifted Model 3, basically. So what is the charging time like for this car?
Well, it depends on the charger you're using and it depends on the infrastructure, but it could take anything from a few hours on a really, really slow charger, which you would have at the house, all the way to pretty much not very much at all, like we'll see right now. So we've just pulled into Tesla superchargers in Belfast. We're at 6% and it is 12:24. And what we're going to do is we're going to time how long it actually takes to charge the car to 80%. So if this is your first Tesla, what you can do is you just basically give it a light tap on the light, grab the supercharger out here, and you plug it in. Then you can see the light here. You just got to wait for it to turn green, and whenever it turns green, which should be roughly about now, the car is charged at full speed. So let's go inside and have a look. So we're back inside, and it says we have 35 minutes to go from 6% all the way up to the limit that we've set at 80%. So that should give you roughly around 250 odd miles.
12 seconds later.
So it is 1:07 p.m. and we're 1 minute away from reaching 80% charge, which is just over 30 minutes. We'll have the exact time here. But that's not too bad. It's got 57 kilowatts, and there is one important thing to remember. At this generation of supercharge, which are the V2 superchargers, if there's a car parked next to you, you only get half the power. So ideally, if it was empty, we would have been able to charge even quicker than that. But this is the worst case. And it has just completed charge at 80%.
So what would be the quirks of this vehicle?
It's a Tesla, and it has some really unique features I wouldn't find in any other car. One of them is the boombox feature. Yes. And we were having a bit of fun with that actually earlier today. So why don't you tell us a story of what we were doing, Connor?
Yes, we were just driving around the town and we thought we'd put everyone in the Christmas spirit. We were playing Christmas music out of it. And
out of the exterior speaker in the traffic.
Exactly.
So while we're waiting in traffic, the boombox will not work while you're driving. So we while we were stuck in traffic, put the boombox on, everyone else could listen. And there was quite a good few people enjoying the music and having a laugh at the Tesla playing music from outside. So another quirk you can get is actually roof racks. So if you were looking at putting a roof box on the top of the car, you can do that, or for skis or whatever else you might be considering, as well as you can also equip these here with the mighty tow bar. So if you want to tow a caravan or tow whatever you might want to, there is that option as well.
Very handy, and especially with these cars because they're very torquey motors.
Yeah. Really, really powerful. I wouldn't be surprised if you launched with a caravan, you'd probably still beat the average BMW.
So we're currently sitting on a motorway. Would you mind giving us a wee acceleration?
Yeah, let's go for it. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
It really does have a good pickup to it. And if you're not expecting it, you will end up hitting your head. And I mean, it goes well. It goes very, very well.
What parts of the car do you not like?
There's not too much to hate, to be honest with you, but there are things that I personally am not a huge fan of, and probably the most annoying one that I found so far is definitely the rear parcel shelf. I'm not too big of a fan of the fact that it kind of folds and it doesn't have a specific place for it to go. I feel like that could have been done maybe just like a normal retractable plastic one, or something that maybe a bit easier to fit in the car. I think that would be much, much better. Another thing I'm not a huge fan of, now that's not really the Tesla's fault, but in this color combination with the dark cherry or in the black interior or black exterior with the black trimmings on the car, it can be relatively awkward and hard to find the door handles in the dark. That is one thing I did struggle with earlier, was I spent about 2 minutes just trying to figure out where it was. I was doing like nearly Braille just to find it. And I think that's something, maybe like a light, or maybe something where if it's a dark color, have a light colored door handle. Just make it a bit easier to find. But honestly, otherwise, we've just been nitpicky. It's a fantastic car and I don't really have any other complaints.
I mean, there's a couple of things I wish that this car had compared to the 2024 Model 3 that we reviewed. Like, for example, it doesn't have a rear screen in the back, which was lovely to have in the back, and it definitely helped for anyone in the back.
Specifically, this being more of a family car, having a bit more space. But there are rumors that there is a new updated version of this here coming out soon, as well as a smaller hatchback kind of size, nearly like a Corsa, Golf or Polo sized.
That could be good.
Yes. So none of that is confirmed. That's just all rumors currently. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla were to launch the updated version relatively soon in 2025. I mean, the Model 3 looks fantastic. They updated it to the Highland, and I don't see why this wouldn't get it. It's nice.
Now it's time to rate the car. So, for Future Classic, we've given it a 4. For Daily, we've given it an 8.5. For Wallet Hurt, we've given it another 4. And for Fun, we've given it a 7.5. So the total comes to 24 out of 40, which is 60%. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow our vlog and podcast channel, link in the description, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much, Tesla. Bye-bye. Now, you may remember Top Gear once raced a BMW M car versus I think it was a Toyota Prius, around a racetrack, and the Toyota Prius did worse than the BMW.
On fuel consumption, yeah. We'll all expect it to lose in a proper race, but yeah, fuel consumption wise.
So, it's not about the engine, it's not about the car, it's about how you drive it, folks.